school seems to always push us to the limit, and tonight was no different. I guess we're at 3 5-setters in a row, which is pretty rare in volleyball. I think, the thing, I thought we was not our best defensive performance, and it's one of the worst in many ways in the back row for the first 4 sets, and then we found a way to pick up our scrappiness, and especially I thought Valeria's defense in the 5th set was incredible, and that was one of the big differences, that she kept the ball alive when it got past her block, and I really liked our resilience with in the second set when we went into a 6-2. I thought Nisa and Blair gave us a lift, and again in the 5th when we went back to it, I thought they both came in ready to help and scored some big time points, and I thought you saw us tonight just able to get Bree a little bit more involved, and we're able to see what a dominant attacker she is, and so that was thought Bree had a great offensive night, and but mostly I think this is the kind of game we needed, and we haven't been in these nail biters much this season, and so we'll make some adjustments and be better for it, but I thought it was a great battle, and we know they'll be ready for us at their place.
Coach, in that 5th set, what's going through your head when you dropped that 4th set, which I know you were frustrated with, but you just seeing your team come out the way they did and just hold on for the victory? What was going through your head to that 5th set?
Well, mostly it was just, we had some bad rows, so figuring out how to side out, but a lot of it was just trying to figure out if there's anything I could do to help us dig some more balls or block a few more balls. So there's just a lot of discussion with Coach Petrone and I of, hey, if we serve a certain way, or is there a way we can just manufacture a few more defensive points?
You talked about the Louisville bringing the best out of you because of, conference lines seemingly getting redrawn every other day. A lot of the rivalries that a lot of people grew up with are disappearing.
Yeah.
But one of the elements of rivalry is that there are stakes and that there's competition between 2 good teams. Can you just talk a little bit about the volleyball these 2 squads have played over their last 7 matches?
Over the last 7, I'd go back further than that. I think, I think for the older fans that's probably a little bit true, but I think for any of our younger fans, they've grown up just thinking, Pitt and Louisville is a really big deal, and tonight was no different.
Bree, you had a career high in kills and tied your career high in blocks. Coach mentioned you just had some juice tonight. What was it that was going so well for you?
Honestly, I just think that our passers were doing their job, and Rachel just feeding me the ball, and once we saw that was consistent, she just kept giving it to me and giving me great balls that I could kill, and I don't know, we just kept it going, and yeah.
Valeria, Coach was talking about you getting all those digs in the 5th set. Do you feel like digging is like a momentum type thing, and you see one and you keep on getting it?
Oh, for sure. Like he said, we always talk about winning the long rally, and that is part of it. Just if it gets past the block, we're digging it. It doesn't matter. And yeah, just being calm and balanced there. Yeah, it's another way of putting pressure on them. They're swinging their best swing, and then we're digging them and converting it. So.
And how big is it to win those long rallies? Because we saw 2, maybe 30 seconds.
Oh, it's a relief. We're back in the huddle, and we're okay, let's take a breather. On to the next one.
Bree, last season you were not able to play against Louisville in neither of 3 games. You finally played now. Do you understand what this rivalry truly means after playing?
I sure do. I sure do. Got the juices going tonight, that's for sure.
Coach, we haven't seen the 6-2 that often in gameplay. I'm sure you're practicing it a ton, but there's an inherent risk going in a game like this without having seen it. What was the ultimate determination for you to just go for it?
Great question. I guess just belief in Blair and Nisa, and just feeling like the energy on the court needed a boost. I mean, there's just times when, I thought like either when Kat was at the 4 set, when Kat and Bree came in at the same time, it just the energy changed, and so I just felt like we were in a rut and we needed a lift, and they certainly do that.
Coach, why do you think the 5-1 was struggling in those like certain rotations?
They definitely did. I mean, they committed to short serving us, which I think threw us a little bit off our rhythm. And we haven't really had anyone like commit to that. And so I'll have to watch. Maybe that affected our location a little bit, or it just affected our approach patterns. And then there's just an element of they were making plays, like regardless of the row, like there was 2 of the 3 rows we were struggling all night. One of them we were fine in, but when 2 of 3 rows are bad, it's hard to keep doing the same thing.
Valeria, was the energy off or different in the 4th set? I don't know, it just kind of felt like you guys were riding that high in the 3rd, and then it didn't seem to match in the 4th, and I'm just curious if you noticed the difference.
I would say like we started carrying towards the end. Like we didn't have that urgency and like that okay, like we're up high, like we're up, let's just finish it. We just kind of like let them get on us, and like there wasn't a sense of urgency, like okay, like let's get this point. But I wouldn't say like the vibe was weird. Like I feel like everyone was trying to like win this point, and like everyone cared.
This question's for anyone that wants to answer it. Do you feel like it helped you in the 3rd set, making that like comeback in the 2nd set, and like when you're down 7 or 8? Does that help you move to other sets, or is it like we lost and it doesn't really matter that much?
I definitely think it gives momentum into the next one, even though our 4th set, like we started out like we said, not with that urgency. Like it definitely just gives you momentum into the next one, thinking, oh, we're gonna jump on them faster than they're gonna jump on us.
And we like talked about it, like we lost that set, but we had if we started carrying a little bit earlier, we would have won that set. We just didn't have enough time to finish strong. But like it carried over to the 5th set, like the momentum we had towards the end.
Bree, Louisville's one of the best blocking team in the country. I believe they're 2nd in the nation with blocks per set, but you guys actually outblocked them tonight. What was going well for your guys' block?
I think just communication. Our coaches have prepared us for this moment for the past week, and I think that as like the leader of the front row, me just talking to my blockers and like making sure to tell them where they're supposed to be, I think that's just what held us to a high level of blocking tonight. And it's really just about communication and wanting to go block the ball. Not just get a touch, not just like slow it down, but to go block the ball every single time you get up.
Valeria, what's allowed this team to, take Louisville to 5 sets 3 straight times and win? I mean, that's not very easy against such a good team like Louisville. What do you think you've seen in those matches that has allowed you guys to just get the victory in the end against a really solid opponent?
I think Coach talked about it, like us being resilient. It's a big part, and we talk about like having stamina, and that's what we have been able to do over the last 3 games.
I think we definitely showed that tonight.
Yeah.
Coach, go ahead.
Coach, it felt like in the halfway through the 2nd set, you were going like a little bit quicker to the middles. Was that an adjustment you made based on like them being there?
Yeah, I think Rachel just started doing it because it was working. She has a good sense of who her hot hitters are.
Do you like put your full trust in like whatever like pace of the game?
We have a plan going in, but as much trust as I've ever had with this editor here. I mean, there's times when I say, hey, like I'll get on her if I think something was tactically way off, but she's understands the game really well. So we don't tell her who to set a whole lot.
Coach, there was a graphic shown on the broadcast today that had kills by class, like freshman, sophomore, senior between you and Louisville, and you guys 61% is sophomores. Does it ever hit you that like Tori, Blair, Olivia are playing so well and they're so young still?
Yes.
Does it excite you for like not even just right now, but like looking forward, like even after the season, you have these these 3 players that are just insane.
Yeah, and Blair and Haiti are pretty good too. In that same class, I've had a feeling about that class that, you know, that with that core group has a chance to win, you know, a couple championships, and I'm blessed to coach them.
Dan, I think the official attendance is around 11,300. What was it like to be in the arena tonight with so many fans and have so many support?
Yeah,
Just
well,
the
Nick,
season.
our marketing guy, asked him if he was disappointed that we were about 50 fans short of a sellout, and he was, because it would have been nice to keep that streak alive. But I guess we're gonna have to start a new one on Sunday. But you know, the home court matters. The support's it's really meant a lot, and I know you know, we don't do it. We do it because we love it, but it's nice when, you know, when people care.
Valeria and Bree, do you get used to playing in front of these big crowds, or is it something that like kind of shocks you every single time? There's so many people playing in front of that.
I would say both. I still get like chills whenever they're like screaming and like celebrating and like you can't hear anything. Yeah, we just love our fans and love how much it has grown over the years, and they do like impact the game. Like whenever we challenge a ball, like they're all like in or out or touch, so they really do help us. So we appreciate them a lot.
I would also agree. Like, I think I'm comfortable playing in crowds this big or maybe even bigger, but I definitely like looked up today and I was just like, oh, this is so surreal. I'm so blessed to just be on this team. It was amazing seeing everyone support us.
Ladies coach mentioned way back at his beginning statement about, you know, you needed a game like this, grinding out, win a fifth set in this environment. What's the benefit of that, especially like knowing your hopes for the end of the season?
I guess just knowing what we can do, and like even if we lose a set, like we can still like bring it, and like finding a solution in the game, and just like trusting in our skills and our preparation for the next couple of games. So
That's pretty good.
Bree, this is the third win for you guys against a top 5 opponent. What do you think's allowed the team to just rise up to the moment against some of the best teams in the country?
Back to preparation. I think that's huge on it. Like, we really dive in deep into what we're supposed to do and like the possibilities of what are going to happen in each of these games. And I think that we have come to a point where we just really love each other. We want to play for each other. And I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to team sports, just playing for each other, because when you love each other and you're all going towards the same goal, you're going to win a lot.
I can add to that. I think we always talk about having an underdog mentality, and we don't care, like being number one doesn't matter if we don't win like the national championship at the end of the day. So just like treating every opponent like they have the skills to beat us, but we will come in like in our preparation like having underdog mentality and in the game too. So
Valeria, you had a big reaction when I asked Coach about that sophomore class, and I'm curious what was going through your head when I brought that up.
Oh, I just love them. I love playing with them, and they bring a lot to the team, and I can't wait to, like, they're already leaders on the team, but like I'm excited for the future and for them to be successful.
Coach, Valeria mentioned it earlier about the crowd and challenges. Have you ever used the crowd to challenge a call?
No comment.
Dan, do you think this might deserve the discussion for maybe the best rivalry in volleyball right now?
If it's not one, it's two. You know, I think there's it's pretty good. And just as I was looking at this, I mean, these are two very good serving teams, and we gave up one service ace. We aced them 3 times, just to show you how hard it was to get easy points tonight.
Any other questions for Coach?
The World Championship twice. I mean, obviously the player sitting to your immediate right announced, talked about it mattering to win a national championship. And I remember when I had Olivia on my podcast during the summer, the World Championship, they didn't want it mentioned. I mean, a handful of games to go in the regular season. Obviously, unless the sky falls, you guys are going to be a #1 seed, if not the #1 overall seed. I mean, is it something you guys openly talk about? And I mean, how do you and how do the players approach every day knowing that it's not the regular season, it's not getting to a Final Four, you've done that, the goal is much, much bigger?
I think this is the year that I've probably talked about it the least. And I think we just having been in 3 Final Fours, I think the players they know what they want to do. We have players like Valeria and Kat that, came back to do that. You have players like Nisa that came in to do specifically to do that. And so I think it's just the belief that we're good enough, and we don't talk about it with each other a lot. We just talk about getting better. But I don't think this year the girls are afraid to say it.
Thank you.